Hey, so I'm going to give a couple of updates for the subscribers that were asking about it, about the family, and then for another subscriber that was asking about the pinions. I'm going to try to reverse this right there. That is one of the big pinions on my property. Right here in front, you see a little juniper, but then behind it, that's a big pinion. I don't know how tall it is. With my truck parking next to it, it looks like it's at least 15 foot high, if not taller. The thing out here with a lot of trees, though, is you see like that it's rounded on top, is the wind. The wind is constantly blowing, and then we have some pretty heavy gusts a lot, and that will help stunt trees' growth just by being too windy for them if they get too high. So, as to the family, some subscribers asked about that. They believe, well, I shouldn't say they believe, the official cause of death was a blood clot. But they're not saying on the death certificate what caused the blood clot. And that has been, I believe, whoever did the autopsy agreed with everybody else's assumption that it was a scorpion that bit him. So he wasn't having these problems until after the sting or bite, whatever it was. If it was a scorpion, it was a sting. So that's what's believed. But that's not on the death certificate. She's trying to resolve that now, simply because it needs to be truthful about what brought it on. So that's where we are with that, and as far as what we know. As far as how they're doing pretty well. They're getting well adjusted to living out here and living off grid, and getting to know the hardships and the benefits. The children themselves are still being hard-headed and stubborn and not listening about the whole don't go walking around without shoes on and stay out from underneath trees, but eventually they'll get it into their heads. It's just new to them because they came from the city. They do need winter clothing and blankets, and I'm helping her save her money right now, try to build them something here before winter really sets in, so they can have a little stove in there and keep warm, not be in the tent or in the van. They have a trailer, a flatbed trailer with some sides on it, so it is feasible that could be used if necessary to build up on, but it would really take away the use of the trailer for hauling anything. She's also trying to talk to somebody about buying a camper for a very reasonable price, but they're just kind of hem-hawing around about it, and so we're not sure how that's going to work out. Here shortly, I'm going to walk up here and show you what we got done on the front line of the fence. We did get the other half, the front of the property, fenced in with logs and down trees and stuff. We're also going to go next, and each corner, as I've got all 4 corners staked out, we're going to go to each corner and dig a hole and bury a log in it, just like I did up at the driveway on the other side of the driveway. So that way there's a big post marking each corner with a no trespassing sign on each corner. I don't know if I mentioned or not that we had some trespassers here a couple weeks ago. They come walking up, and she was here, I was gone. They come walking up and said, "We're looking for a dog, don't shoot," which seems funny, but for anybody else who lives out here, you understand the sentiment behind it. This is not you don't want to trespass out here. So she told them that if they were lucky that I wasn't home because I'm crazy and I would have shot them. Which is pretty funny, but it helps her be secure and feel secure. And I'm completely drawn a blank on what I was gonna go into next. So I'll pause this and then I'll come back when I can remember. So last week, when we were hanging out, having a little fire, it was during daytime, we were sitting a little bit underneath one tree because of shade. And the kids kept inching farther back into it. And then there was movement down by my feet. And she noticed something was down there. She thought it was a little lizard. And I looked down and it was a scorpion. It was crawling out from underneath my feet. So it had been, jarred loose from wherever it was hiding at during the day from the activity underneath there. Which became a good training moment for the kids to see that. However, it still hasn't really registered in their head that little scorpion could seriously hurt them. And then one of the snakes that I had caught on the road and turned loose up here on my property, we saw underneath the tree, which again was adding to my point of staying out from underneath the trees because snakes hide underneath the trees. And it was just a harmless gopher snake, but we have rattlesnakes here too, and they could very well have been a rattlesnake just as easily. And then later that night, we were sitting by a fire relaxing, and I looked down, shined a light on my bag to pick up, and there was a praying mantis hanging out on the bag, which I thought that was pretty neat. Took some pictures of him too. Just all the critters out here that we have, and all the lizards. I think that's just really neat. So I got some pictures of everything. Just, for showing the stuff that we have, the diversity. Hopefully, again, to reiterate, the kids will understand that this is not the city. This is not just a safe place to go running around doing whatever you want. Stuff out here can hurt you. Even our trees out here, our cactus, they haven't figured out the whole running barefoot, and there's little cactus that are hidden in some of these grasses and stuff like that, and you don't see them if you're not paying attention. So hopefully, eventually they'll get it through their head. It's probably going to take one of them stepping on a cactus. The youngest one figured out not to play with fire because he tripped and burned himself getting up to the fire too close, trying to throw sticks in it like his big brothers were doing. So I think we got him broke of that. We'll see. We're planning on, today's Tuesday, Thursday, going and getting some bricks. I'm going to bring my water totes down to where I'm set up the camper and get some cinder blocks and put them up on the cinder blocks so they're a little elevated, off the ground. Makes it easier to get water and helps with the flow and everything. Less work a pump will have to do. My initial plan was to keep them farther up because it's higher elevation, the farther up you go. Not a lot. It doesn't look like a lot, but it actually would be quite a bit for water flow. However, then that means running a lot of line and hose, which is more money, more time, more work. And I'm just not interested in spending any extra money on something like that. That's just not necessary. I could just bring it down here. I'm going to need a pump anyhow, so Might as well bring it down here. So Thursday we're going to get that so we can get the water tanks up and then get some the flat paving blocks so that way I can level off my camper, get it all leveled and set. And then the next step will be to start building a storage facility. It's a little storage shed. And with that, I'm going to, after that's done, then I will unload everything from my camper, put it in there, with the exception of, maybe some kitchen stuff. I don't know yet. I'm not sure how ambitious I'm going to be, but once that gets done, then I'm going to start doing some remodeling in the camper. I'm ripping some stuff out. I'm thinking about completely redoing the bathroom, like the wall where the tub is up against, tearing that out and the tub out, and the sink and toilet out, and putting a really decent looking tub in there. So I'm thinking about doing that, making it a nicer bathroom, but we'll see. I'll do it more on the cheap, but something a little nicer, just a little bit bigger of a tub. I'm not really a small guy, so I want something a little bigger. It'll probably be more of a shower than a tub, but because I'd like to get a stock tank and put it outside and have that filled with water, and then use a stock tank for cooling off in. It could be for bathing, but it'd be more for cooling off in. A stock tank works perfect. I don't need no pool. Just get a stock tank. Probably going to tear out the little couch that's in the living room part. Tear it out, and I will either put my futon in there or leave it completely out and just put a chair there and expand the area so I can have a bigger refrigerator. And I'm just trying to decide where I want to put anything electrical stuff, inside electrical stuff for running the power. I'm thinking about putting that right there because it's already where the power line comes in from outside. So might as well just leave it all right in that area. Have a bigger refrigerator that sits up on a box, and then underneath of it have all of the equipment and whatnot, and then build something right on the outside of it, maybe to house the batteries. But again, we'll see eventually. For now, I'm going to look into a generator to use, but eventually I want to get solar. Generators are noisy and annoying, and obviously they constantly require fuel, and solar panels would be easier. And then I have the generator as a backup. If it's a gloomy winter day and I don't get much juice put into the batteries, then I'd have the generator as a backup. And that's really only necessary because I'd have a refrigerator in there. And obviously you want to keep your refrigerator cool. Probably going to go to the Army Navy surplus store when we go up there because we're going to Flagstaff. I spoke with them last year and they did have wood burning stoves in there. So I'm going to look and see what they have. They've got a decent little wood burning stove. Then that can come here to the camper, and I'll get some other, heat stones to set it on and to put behind it, and then just drill a hole through the roof. It's really not a big deal. I don't have a problem doing it. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but you need heat, and I'm certainly not gonna try to get the propane heater working and run propane. That's gonna be hell of expensive. And I've got plenty of dead wood here, so why not just get a wood burning stove and then just burn my dead wood that I have. I got enough dead wood here to last for quite a while. Probably, there's dead wood on adjacent properties as well that are not occupied, and no one's not fenced in, no trespassing signs, nothing like that. So until you put all that up, anybody can come and utilize your property. So I'm not saying I'm going to steal, but if I need more wood, there's a lot of dead on the adjacent properties as well. So you got to do what you got to do to keep the place heated. But I've got plenty of dead wood on my property as it is. So I'm sure I can go for a few years. I'd really like to buy this other property next to me, and then I'll get all that dead wood too. But yeah, so that's where we're going now. I'm very slowly trying to make some progress. The price of lumber is going down, which means the ability to build something affordably is increasing. Just trying to decide where I want to put the storage shed at. That's the question. And then there's other little odds and ends. I need to get a ladder. Obviously, I can't build too much and do too much without having a ladder to be able to get to places. I need a wheelbarrow. I want a chainsaw. I don't have a chainsaw. So, I don't know. There's definitely things I need. I need a generator too. I mean, I don't have that either, but if I had a, nice large subscription base, then I'd do a Amazon wish list. Because I can guarantee you, I'm not one of those rich people that came and bought land and got all this money to just build everything. I'm working stiff, just working day by day and a slightly above minimum wage job. I'm doing that so I can live here on my property. I can be out here and live off grid and have that peace of mind. It's making things go slower than what it would if I had the money from welding. But for now, this is what I'm doing. As I mentioned before, I have considered going back to welding, but for now, I've not really made that decision completely. I want the money, but then I think about, then I can't come home to this every day. My trees and my home, my place. I can't come home to this every day, and I've lived like that for years, and I just kind of I want to be home. I want to be on my property, and I want to see all these trees and know these are mine, and just be here every day. I really love it here. I just can't even put into words how much I just love coming home, knowing I'm coming home to this every night. It's wonderful. Anyhow, we'll halt this for now until later. I'll add to it, and we'll go on from there. I'm going to show you here some of the, so you see I'm sitting in my camper right now. There's my truck sitting between the trees where I'm sitting here from, right in front of my camper. This is not how we got the camper in. We didn't back it through that little thing. We came down the hill by that pinion that was up there and brought it down, and then after we unhooked, he drove straight out. But it's funny because it's behind us. It goes up a little bit of a hill, and that's how you can really see the elevation difference right here, more so than if you're on the road, because it's just kind of gently slopes, but the hill comes down more pronounced down into this little bowl area, which from up there it looks more like a bowl than what it is, although throughout the door of the camper it does dip down a little bit more. The camper's sitting a little bit higher on a rise, but you can definitely see there's a difference in height coming from the top of my property on down, just because of this area here. That and the fact that not too far past where my truck is, right over here, is actually the lowest part of my property, and that got pretty swampy here during the monsoons. It was pretty interesting. I couldn't believe it. I came down, I was looking at it like, damn, this is like a little marshland here. I didn't realize we'd gotten that much water, but at least now I know where the low point is. So anyhow, yep, we will be back as soon as I get up to the top to record the fence line. As promised, here's the rest of the finished fence. This big scrub oak was right in the way, so we decided that might as well go around it. Nothing's going to pass that. It's going to walk over the fence that we built before it's going to go over this. And there's another one right there before we get to the corner. Right there's the end. We're going to take big logs just like I did at the gate and bury them on all the corners. So that way I can put no trespassing signs up on them. And it's as secure as I can make it for right now. Anyhow, stay tuned. Right after this little segment here, I got some video of the scorpions that I got last night, or saw last night. And then I'm going to post some on my Instagram, the pictures on my Instagram that I took. So just in case you want a better look, we ended up finding 18 of them last night, just within a one general area, except for one that I found up by the end. So have a good one. Until next time, be safe. Love y'all. Bye.
Family didn't help.